Dude, we out here on a night walk, so I'm doing my best to try to stay consistent with just having these conversations about the mind. It's been a long week. There's been a lot of stuff going on, but good stuff though. So I want to share something, and we'll see how this comes out. But many years ago, after coming out of meditation in a season where so many things were going on, I heard Spirit say to me, yo, how far do you really think you're gonna go without yourself? How far do you really think you're gonna go in life without yourself? So I was on a Zoom with these other individuals, high-thinking individuals. I was just listening. It was a Zoom for understanding. Seven Bomer was leading the talk. Definitely one of the best leaders of our time. If you haven't seen any of his content, But I was just listening to the different people that were talking about situations that they didn't feel like they can tell other people, that they felt like they would be judged. And I definitely understand this situation right here, especially when it comes to the supernatural things that happen, miracles, channeling, clairvoyant abilities. It'll make you question who you are, not the gifts, but when you see other people's reactions to who you are. Sometimes they can see who you are clearly and they won't tell you because they just not about to give you that level of credibility. Some see it and they hate you for it. Some see it and they admire you for it, but want to take it from you. But because they can't take it from you, they'll mock you. Which brings me to a quick side note. You gotta pay attention to people that are overly interested in you. Just saying, it's not that somebody can't be a fan of what you're doing or want to support you, but people who are overly interested, gotta pay attention to them kind of people right there. Vipers. So, how far do you have to go to recognize you ain't going no damn where without yourself? Now, when Spirit told me this, it was really profound. It's like, oh man, wow, that was deep. Until I realized that was my higher self talking to me. And at this point in time, I was well on my spiritual walk and counseling and mentoring and everything. Reading and diet and, operating. But there's certain things about me that I don't feel comfortable sharing with other people. Some people, and even the ones that know, God bless them. Especially when they see me do certain things that are just like next level, or I'm channeling something and I don't realize it. They still kind of hang in there with me. But I appreciate the people that are just honest, man. And most of the time it's strangers, which is why I like to talk to people. Because I had an experience where I was talking to this barber, right? This is years ago. I was talking to this barber and, was talking about history, and I was just breaking something down. And most of the time, like, I know this now, but I didn't quite really understand it then. I just channel information. I don't have to read books. I don't have to, listen to anybody. And I'll just start channeling. And, I do it so often, so much where, it just seems like I'm just processing normal thoughts and speaking on it. And he waited till I finished and said, look, man, sometimes when you start talking, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I really do know you know what you're talking about. That's why I listen to you, because I always learn something. And he said, it might take me a while, but eventually, I'll be like, oh, that's what you were talking about. That helped me out a lot. He might have not known that, but that helped me out a lot. Because it helped me to know more about myself. And I need that to be able to move forward on my path. Had some conversations this week with, a few people that I'm close with. Had a chance to break down somebody's chart for him, help him to see something that he already knew about himself. It wasn't like I was saying something that was so mysterious, but having a conversation about what he knew about himself and the qualities therein, because of the distractions and lack of energy, because, you got to do life, you know what I'm saying? You got responsibilities. But when we talked about it, and I really made sure I drilled it in real good, today he hit me and was like, bruh, you're so right. How far do you think you're going to go before you know yourself? Had another conversation with a brother. Known him for over 20 years. And he back in Africa, It's been back there for a while, East Africa. He was just kind of breaking down some things that he was dealing with, and we've been covertly on a mission for years where we've been supporting each other, and I've been trying to support what he has going on back there, especially when it comes to the youth in that part of the world, because there's so many young men between the ages of like 17 and let's just say before 30. Definitely know that that's part of my calling. So we were speaking about some things, and he was dealing with some dense challenges. So we spoke about it. Then I got a download. And it was pretty powerful, because when you relinquish challenges and issues to your higher self, to the Holy Spirit, to them higher frequencies, and really connect in that space, these powerful emotions take over your body. It's like I said, let the weak say that they're strong. I am strong. I am, keywords, I am. Just dropping seeds. So now, where I am now, learning yourself is an ongoing thing for sure. But I definitely feel blessed to reach the age that I am now with the understanding and the experiences that I've had, because it's by those experiences and studying those experiences to gain wisdom, I know more about myself, so it keeps me aligned on my path. I have authority over my life because I understand my purpose, and that gives me that charge, and I continue to learn that. So just ask yourself, how far do you think you're gonna go? Not what people know you for, not what you did, good or bad, not the life you're living, but at your core, how well do you know yourself? Because if you know yourself, then you'll just be yourself. And I'm willing to bet you, there's some things about you that you don't want people to know. You don't understand how they're gonna react to who you are. That doesn't necessarily make you not be that, but you kind of shy away from it. You don't fully operate in its full capacity. I use myself as an example. I've always been very interested in the spirit world because of things that just happened in my life. Beyond religion. And I say it like that because that was my foundation. And anybody who studies a certain religion, good, but study it in truth though. Study it in truth. It's a tool. It's not who you are. Only you can determine who you are. As a man thinketh, so is he. As a mind thinketh, so is it. It's just a universal law. Reverend Ike calls it turning stones to bread. It's against universal law to turn stones to bread, which is why Yeshua, Christ, he didn't do it. Some people say he could, but after kind of like hearing this perspective that I heard, I agree with it because I do understand the universal law. And to turn stones to bread would mean that you would be operating from this place, the Matrix 3D, and breaking a universal law, because all things have to start in the mind first. He's chirping. So that's one of the reasons or a perspective you can take in regard to anything in your life. So we'll start with your mind. So how well do you know yourself? If you're not getting to where you want to go, take a look at what's going on in your life. And the more you do it, because it's those small things for sure that make a big difference, but they're hard to tap into because of the distractions, projections, and programming. You gotta have some real dog in you, some real fight to go against the grain. How far do you think you're going to go before you realize you can't go anywhere without yourself? Yeah, man. So, I'm not going to make this too long. I'm already at 15. Ask yourself that repeatedly. And I guarantee you'll find some jewels in that. Like those things that are good about you, but you don't share. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to share something. So I've always been heavily interested in the spirit realm because of the supernatural things that will happen to me. And I'm an open book, if you can't tell already, on some levels anyway. People will treat you different. Just accept it. It shouldn't even be that big of a concern to you, because what you think about yourself is what's really supposed to matter. That's a program. Think about it. Think that's a program. Conform. I don't care what it is that you do that's kind of quirky or just not of the norm. It's you. It's you. So I noticed, after a while, this wasn't, something that I just like, oh, people don't understand me, I'm gonna stop being me. Now, if you know me, then you know I don't give a shit. Like, straight up. Not on that level. But I definitely don't like taking on a lot of energy either. And that's what'll happen. Until you learn how to like create boundaries for yourself, for balance. Boundaries for balance. With your energy, so people can't cipher it and things like that. But I used to just drop jewels 24/7. Ain't matter who it was. I was just gonna give it for free because I was so happy to be able to tap into that space that I was like, oh, this is a great thing. Man, after going through a series of initiations, dark night of the soul, setbacks in life, the truth of the challenges that some of us face, many of us face, economically, resources, environments, conditioning, and you hear these words a lot, but think about what I'm saying. Really think about what I'm saying and how it's affecting your vibration and keeping you from being who you were divinely meant to be. So I got to a place where I kind of just was like, especially when I started coming into the stronger spiritual gifts, like being a seer. Whew. Thank God for Spirit on that one. He just showed me that most people don't have a lock on their Wi-Fi, so they getting hacked all the time by different spirits. And I had to look at the way people do things as if it was a computer. And some people got a bunch of viruses on their computer. That was just one of the first things that kind of helped me to be able to process how malicious and manipulative individuals can be. But when you're a seer, you don't have a choice. You have to see it. And I remember talking to God. I was like, I really don't want this. I don't like dealing with most people anyway. And now I got to see the truth of them. And even if I said something to them about what they were doing, I'm a seer. I can already see that you're going to lie. Makes you feel lonely. But then I just kind of started to understand, man, you gotta look at it with no judgment. Can you observe it? And with the help of my higher self and spirit guides and the creator of all, didn't affect me anymore. But definitely went through some humiliating things, embarrassing things. When I say that, because some people get embarrassed, well, I mean, man, I don't know. I just got so much grace where I just keep it moving. Maybe it should be embarrassing, but I just understand what's going on. So that's the other part of being a seer, see exactly for what it is. Even though you're having to go through it, because that's what the Creator tells you. I will always be with you. I will always be with you. Doesn't mean you're not going to go through things in life, because you definitely are. I mean, you should know that by now. But I'll be with you. And I learned that to be so true. So true. It's nothing like being in some of the darkest moments of your life. No support. Hanging on. But got a smile on your face. I know some people understand that, some people not. It's okay. How far do you think you're going before you remember you can't go anywhere without yourself? Here's the great thing about coming into yourself. It gives you incredible confidence when you really accept it. When you start speaking your truth. Because other people may think just like you are, but haven't been able to process it a certain way. I'm not going to say they just won't say it, but you might need to say it a certain way or do it a certain way. Well, believe it or not, like I said in the beginning, with all that I knew, all that I studied, all my experiences, and having a chance to be around some really intelligent people, talented mentors, counseling, training, all of this stuff. And Spirit said, how far do you think you're going to go before you realize you ain't going nowhere? And I'm talking about I wasn't broke either. I was not broke, for sure. None of that crap mean anything, man. But to know yourself, priceless. Because it don't matter what's going on in the world. I promise you. I promise you. And I know many of us do know this to a degree, but I'm talking about a deeper level. That's why I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. Because we'll say we're not afraid, but then it's like them little things that we might want in our life or want for us. And as soon as we get it, we'll cancel it with some reason why it can't be that way. As the mind thinketh, so is it. So, I guess that's a topic of discussion tonight. How far do you think you're going to go before you realize you ain't going nowhere? Yeah, I said going. You're not going nowhere. Before you realize you can't do it without your true, authentic, divine self. And many of you haven't had a conversation with yourself in a long time. A real one. An honest one. The honest one. Where you can't lie to yourself. Full accountability. And if you are, salute. Because we need you out here for sure. But those that are still feeling a little uncomfortable with certain things, and we all have our little hang-ups, but that's where you got to live at, man. That's where you got to live at. Right there. In that uncomfortable place. That's how you grow. So, hope you guys have a good weekend. I'm glad I was able to have this conversation because really didn't think I was going to do it, but this is good. So I really hope this helps someone keep forward with this mission, this whole mind science thing. And like I said, the people that I am connected to, that I actually speak with, like the two people I mentioned earlier, just makes this even that much more real for me. So we'll keep it going. All right, y'all be good. Peace.